Hello, this is Macy's Thunder Mace, one of the smaller main hero vehicle sets from NEXO Knights Season 2. These NEXO Knights vehicles tend to be inspired by either a characteristic, a character trait of the main operator, or their primary weapon that they're known for. And this is Mace's vehicle, so you'd expect it to be based on a mace. It kind of is, but they kind of did it in reverse of the norm. The handle is here in the front. Normally they would have kind of the hitting end up towards the front, but it's kind of backwards in that sense, but that's okay. You can just kind of see it being kind of like this, where this is the handle and then the bludgeoning end is back there. It's not quite as obvious of a connection as I'm used to from their other sets, but that's just fine. I like the choice of going with 3 wheels. It's something different rather than just a straightforward car or a half track or something. Lego really likes to do their half tracks. But this kind of has a bit of a motorcycle conversion with a tricycle kind of conversion done to it, with the small wheels in the back and then a really long fork in the front. I like the choice of parts used across the top. It has a nice view from the top. I think the shape looks good. The front of it in particular is the best part of it in terms of its design, and definitely looks better from this side, I think, than it does from the other side because of the wheel being open on the other side. The center section, I wish had just a couple of tiles covering up some of these technical holes used through the center there. Would have been nice to kind of finish that off a bit. But speaking of finishing things, the back of it is very open and feels unfinished to me, even with what they've done to create some wheel covers on the back. Everything is just so open with the obvious Technic pieces. But there's a mechanism here, of course. You just turn this and it's going to deploy a couple of 6-stud shooters, which you already saw folded away. The action works pretty nicely. That's the kind of thing that I want to see for hidden cannons. And then of course you can just turn these to shoot off a bunch of studs, and you can lose those pieces all over your room. It does carry Macy okay in the center section. Just kind of have to push her arms past the windscreen there. The windscreen is a little bit low. It does have spots to hold on to her weapon and shield, and you can hold the Macy's bot on the back as a little secondary position back there. There are a number of stickers on this set. Got stickers here, inside here. It's easier to see on this side. There's a sticker there, and also on these kind of fenders. There are 2 stickers on each, and then there's one more for the driver's console. And let's see if I can give you a good look at that. That's my favorite sticker on the whole thing, but it's very flat. Similar to the windscreen itself, it's just down very low, so she's really looking down on it and kind of it feels like she needs to lean forward to get a good look at it. The 3 figures here, left to right, are Macy, Macy's bot, and a crust smasher. As always, I'll have to take off a bunch of stuff from the main hero so that you can see more of the details beneath. But before I do that, I do want to point out a few issues that I have with a couple of the figures here. First of all, with Macy, I'm not sure if I've noted this before, but there's a lot of weight on this hair tuft piece, and it tends to cause the whole thing to fall back frequently and easily just by itself. So getting that to stay, sometimes it might depend upon exactly how the piece was formed that you get, but that can be a little bit irritating sometimes when the face guard is always opening up halfway. Also, that hairpiece itself doesn't fit in to this hole very well, so that actually falls out much too easily. And then the third thing is actually with this Macy's bot. Now, I like the tiles, the printed tiles that they make for these bots always, and I think that one looks good just like the others. I think that the choice of helmet for the Macy's bot is also a good one. It kind of goes with the look of Macy. However, that helmet itself does not fit all the way on to this figure because the front of it hits this tile. It doesn't fit all the way on, so it's just a little bit loose. It just doesn't completely go down into the stud on the top of that headpiece, so it's not really a full connection. With a bunch of the gear removed, now you can clearly see the faces, which are the same as we've gotten before, and you can also more clearly see the torso print, of course, for Macy, which I still think is well done. 2 faces for Macy and the bot, but no second face for the crust smasher because they just have some of that kind of scale detail on the back, which allows you to use that head with headgear that are not completely covered on the back. This set only comes with 1 NEXO power, and this is Bomb Blast. So I feel like this is one of the weaker sets in the line. It's not a bad set, just has a number of quirks about it that I personally don't like, and I think that the overall design is just, again, a little bit on the weak side. I'm also surprised by the number of small issues with the figures, just with their accessories and things not attaching all that well. Those are just my thoughts though. Let me know what you think about the set by leaving a comment down below. Thank you much for watching. I will talk to you again very soon.